Can I tell you a secret? Content shapes the world, and I think you probably already know this, but to buttress this point, I'd like to tell you a very famous proverb by one of Africa's best, Chinua Achebe, and he says that unless the lion learns to write, the tale of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. And I think that has been the reason Africa has appeared the way it has in the press from the very beginning of time, because most of the stories coming out of Africa have been told by people who are not Africans and totally have little or no interest in reporting African matters as they truly are. Maybe because they don't have a good understanding of what's going on, or maybe because they have a different agenda. I wouldn't know. But one thing we know is the best way to tell the African story is when Africans tell the stories themselves. And that's what we're going to do in this video, show you how African stories should be told properly. So stay tuned. Do you have a story? Would you want to share? Do you think Africans will ever get to tell the African stories better than the rest of the world has told it? Is there something they don't know? Or have they told all the truth and we just have to admit the fact that we are nothing but a scum of the earth, the black continent, the least progressive, and everything bad you can imagine? So first thing I have come to observe is that there isn't enough African content out there. So for someone who loves to read, who's gone out there trying to find stuff about African cultures, African history, African heritage, there is not as much information that you can find that actually depicts Africa as it truly is. But every time I see a report on the news, I see articles and I see stuff, what we represent in the movies, in the books, in the stories, it does not accurately reflect what we practice. If we don't tell our own stories, nobody's going to tell them for us. It's like the thing they say about the trumpet. If you don't blow your own trumpet, nobody's going to blow it for you. And so when you look at the rest of the world, you realize that they all are very much interested in blowing their own trumpets. So you have the Americans blowing their trumpets, make America great again. America is the greatest country in the world. America is this, that. And so with the British, so with the French, so with the Germans, so with the Russians, so with the Chinese. Everybody tells a story where they are super, where they are awesome, where they're on top. It's only in Nigerian movies where all witches, wizards, killing, destroying our own people, and nothing good coming out of the African society. But when you watch American action movies, there's always that great American hero fighting against the enemies who've come from the outside. And that's one key difference in the way they tell their stories and the way we tell ours. They tell their stories to glorify their cultures, like Hercules, who overcomes all the tasks and becomes a god. Like Superman, the alien that comes to Earth and becomes a superhero. Like the bullied boy, Spider-Man, who eventually becomes a superhero and saves the love of his life and saves his city. Look at the stories of Jesus. They've been told to portray him as God. They've been told to glorify everything that was good about him. The man who gave beautiful speeches, the man who healed the sick, the man who raised the dead. You get the point I'm making, right? There are people who are aching to know the stories that you're holding back on. So if you have to start telling the story, I'd encourage you to do it now. Start it already. And when you tell the story, make sure that you are the hero of your own story.
Today's video was brought to you by a friend of Tuna Cheki. Are you an African YouTuber who's passionate about African issues and want to join our Friends of Tuna Cheki community? Send us an email at tunacheki@gmail.com and we might just feature your video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our African videos. Also remember to leave your suggestions and topics that you'd like us to cover in the comments below.